What if I told you that the real enemy of your confidence isn't other people? It's you. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because of tiny, everyday habits you don't even notice. Habits that seem harmless, but slowly eat away at your self-belief until you barely recognize yourself. Think about it. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's built, or destroyed, by what you do every single day. That's why this matters. Because while you're busy chasing big goals, you might be quietly tearing down the very foundation you need to reach them. And the worst part? These habits feel so normal that you don't even question them. But today you will. Let's talk about them, one by one. The first habit killing your self-belief is constant self-comparison. You wake up, scroll through social media, and see someone your age making millions, traveling the world, or looking flawless. And suddenly, your own life feels small. Here's the truth. Comparison is a trap you can never win. Because no matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone ahead. Imagine trying to run a marathon while constantly looking sideways. You'll trip, you'll stumble, you'll lose your pace. That's exactly what comparison does to your confidence. Every time you measure your worth against someone else, you tell yourself you're not enough. And when you repeat that long enough, you start to believe it. The second habit is negative self-talk. You mess up at work, and instead of saying, "I'll do better next time," you tell yourself, "I'm an idiot. I always fail." You stand in front of the mirror and focus only on flaws no one else notices. It sounds like no big deal, right? But those words you whisper to yourself create the story you live by. Think of your mind like a courtroom. If you're constantly acting as your own prosecutor, tearing yourself down, how could you ever expect to win the case for your own confidence? The more you rehearse failure in your head, the more you start to see it as truth. The third habit is saying yes when you want to say no. This one is sneaky. On the surface, it looks like kindness, like being helpful. But every time you agree to something you don't want to do, you trade a piece of your self-respect for approval. You tell yourself that other people's comfort matters more than your boundaries. Over time, you start to feel powerless, like your life doesn't belong to you anymore. Picture it like this. Every unwanted yes is a tiny leak in your confidence bucket. And the more you leak, the emptier you feel. The fourth habit, and maybe the most dangerous, is procrastination. Not the lazy kind, but the kind fueled by fear. You put off starting that project, applying for that job, or having that hard conversation because you're afraid of failing. But here's the trick. The longer you wait, the bigger the task feels, and the smaller you feel. Procrastination whispers that you'll do it tomorrow, but what it's really saying is, "I don't believe in myself today." And with each delay, your self-belief shrinks. Confidence doesn't grow by waiting. It grows by action, even messy, imperfect action. So what's the takeaway here? Confidence doesn't disappear overnight. It's stolen, piece by piece, by the choices you make every day. Comparing yourself until you feel small. Talking to yourself like an enemy instead of a friend. Saying yes when your heart screams no. Postponing the things that could change your life. These aren't just habits. They're quiet assassins of your self-belief. But the good news is, the same way you built these habits, you can break them. Every time you choose to celebrate your own progress, to speak kindly to yourself, to honor your boundaries, and to take action even when you're scared, you start to rebuild the S.O. Ask yourself right now, which of these habits has been stealing your confidence? And more importantly, which one are you ready to stop today? If this video spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment and share the habit you're working on breaking. Hit like if you want more content like this, and subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson. Remember, confidence isn't found, it's built. And it starts with what you do today.